Shout out to everybody here on the live. NASDAQ just pumped huge out the call from the trading group in the inverted head and shoulder to the upside. Let's go, baby. Let me show you what's happening. We trade all markets all the time.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you, babe?
I got a bit of an idea here today for you. That's right. No, I'm just, but I have something that I'm looking at here on the 8-hour time frame that may get you a little excited. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. Thank you so much. My name's Sam Price. My last name's Price. You knew I was going to be a trader. Come on now. And welcome to the show. I go over Bitcoin every single day. Every day. I give live trades, my ideas, everything that I see happening. I do a long-term analysis from the top down, and then we break down altcoins. Basically from we do Bitcoin from about 10:15 to 10:30, 10:45, maybe even to 11:15 if it happens. Then we get into the altcoins throughout the rest of the show. We have a blast. We dabble back into Bitcoin. We look at the news. We have a blast. We have fun. And I can't wait to share the show with you today again. Shout out to all my beautiful people here, and God bless each and every one of you for being alive. Thank you. Rushing around here, had a package delivered, had to run over and sign real quick. Packages coming every single day. It's crazy. Blessings on life. So let's take a look here at BTC and what's happening. This beautiful flag on the 5-minute time frame touched the 21-day moving average. Beautiful skyrocket pump. But you can see the shoulder, head, right shoulder. You see that? Shoulder, head, right shoulder. It's crazy, but you can see it right there. And then we mill down. Now we're getting back above the 200 moving average. Things are looking pretty bullish. Bitcoin had a pump last night. I talked about the 15-minute breaking out above the 200 moving average. Whenever I'm above a 200 and I'm touching a 21, I know that there's likelihood of a move to the upside. This is simple stuff. This is how every move ever happened in the history of every move of any coin. Go study any coin around the world, any coin, anything, any asset. You'll find this is how it broke out. It broke out when it was pretty much 90% of the time near a 21-day moving average, above a 200. I'm just teaching you what is real in trading, all right? I'm teaching you the sauce. I'm not giving you my opinions. I'm saying, hey, I did this for 20 years. This is what it is. If you want to use the knowledge, here it is. And I'm going to give it to you every single day. Together, we're going to get better as traders. Every day, I'm going to get better. You're going to get better. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. But every day, we're going to work at it. And somehow, some way, we're going to get better. I don't know how, but I know that we are going to get better over time. That's just what the facts tell me. If I stay consistent, somehow I'll be more consistent than most at whatever I'm staying consistent at, right? Makes sense. It makes complete sense. So it is what it is. Do we see a bounce here on the 15-minute? I do. It's touching the 21 above the 200. That suggests that we could get a smooth move here all the way back to 110,220. Looks like Bitcoin may be in for a bit of a pump. And lately I haven't had the time. Right? Haven't had the time to cook. You know what I mean? Haven't had the time to cook. You know what I mean? So you just, you do what you got to do, right? And so if you can't cook, you just drink, man. It is what it is. So here you go. Who thinks, oh no, oh no. Who wants to stay who wants to stay? I'm not going to do it, right? Yeah, it was just for show. Definitely not going to do that. Who would do that? Nobody does stuff like that. That's disgusting. Don't do that. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Let me take a look at the chat here and see what's happening in the chat. Let me pop out that chat and see who he is. Sam is the best. I'm getting back to a profitable game thanks to him and to the 99. Sending love from Brazil. Muck, I love you. And shout out to everyone. We just traded the NASDAQ, all right, on BTCC, and I nailed it yet again. 14 or 13. Yeah, wait, let me go back. 12 for 14. 12 for 14. I just don't lose NASDAQ trades. It's kind of nuts. I don't know how, what happens there, but we just don't lose when I trade the NASDAQ. It's insanity on BTCC. Let me show you the call that I gave here earlier this morning. I saw an Adam and Eve double bottom number one. I saw that this was about to break up. My target was 23,141. We went to 23,111. I took profits. When we pump something like that crazy, I take profits. You know what I mean? And we moved the account up yet again. And we're going to take this $2,000 to $5,000, right? Now we're at 4,400. Continuing to add to the gains, continuing to move up day by day, step by step. And it's not about being greedy. You will grow an account as long as you're slowly growing it. You'll come back months later and realize that you can do it. All right? People that go up and down, it's cool. They make a lot of money. You can see their gains. Look at my gains. They make way more gains than you've ever made, but they also make way more losses than you've ever made. Remember that every time you see massive gains, when a guy makes like you see a coin go from $1.41 to $1.40, it's a penny move and the guy's up thousands of dollars. Remember, a penny move down would have done the same. Anyone that shows you a gain like that has likely lost massive amounts of money, and they just finally want to show you the gain because they're like, it's the best thing they can do to make themselves feel better. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to anyone that traded the NASDAQ with me. Did you trade the NASDAQ, master friend? Did you get the move with me to the upside? I hope you did. It was a beautiful Adam and Eve double bottom inside of the inverted head and shoulder. There was a 70% chance that was going to the upside. Highly likely. So if you don't take it, the odds are, like, the years of trading are telling you that you're likely going to win this trade. See, people have emotions though, and they go, I can't do it. I found something interesting in trading. I just had a beautiful epiphany that I'm going to teach you later on in the stream. I'm going to save this little pocket, and what I do is I rip off a piece here, and I'll put this here on my keyboard. That will remind me to give you that little pocket. I have something to teach you. I just had an awesome epiphany of how I can really show you why certain people are losing and why certain people are winning. It's a very simple reason. It's a very simple reason, all right? Please hit that like button. I was happy just studying today. Well done, friend. Shout out to Master Friend. God bless you in the house, my friend. Hope your new addition, that band that you're in, is doing well. Shout out to everybody here, man. God bless you. To the winner goes the spoils. Amen. Good day, Master. So if you traded the NASDAQ with me, if you were in the trading group, and I have a NASDAQ futures update here where I give NASDAQ futures updates, this morning I was right there. And I said Adam and Eve, and you can see my long right there too. Adam and Eve double bottoms play out so much. There's a 90% chance they play out usually, and they usually break out about 40% of that move. And NQ inverted head and shoulder too as well. And then boom, by 10 a.m. we had shot to the upside. I gave the call at about, what was it? And this is a trade we've been in actually. I gave this trade yesterday at 554. Never got stopped out. So this trade just continuing to bang on them to the upside. And that makes me 12 for 14. I've lost 2 NASDAQ trades. Insanity. And again, who cares, right? About my win rate, because it doesn't change yours, right? If I have a huge win rate and I'm nailing it, it doesn't change you. Everyone wants to know my win rate. Sam, what's your win rate? Sam, what's your percentage? Sam. And I'm like, does it matter? Because if mine was up huge and yours wasn't, would it change your life? No. If mine was down huge and yours was up, would it change your life? No. What if I was going through a divorce and my mind was out of my, and I'm not, just so you know. My mind was wrecked. My kids were telling me, Dad, we hate you. And I was giving you the greatest calls, but I was just emotionally, and I destroyed my account. You see what I'm saying? I can give you the sauce, teach you exactly how to trade, and I could be off emotionally. So never really compare yourself to someone else's gains. It doesn't matter. They could be in an off state of mind. Know that the strategies I teach you play out. Know that everything that I show you is tried and true. Know that if you stick to the plan yourself, you will end up in a pretty good spot. But it just takes time. It takes time. So we're watching to see this break out of the 15-minute time frame, oversold with the higher low, bouncing off the 21-day moving average, bit of an previous resistance becomes support. Let's do our top-down analysis for Bitcoin. Let's take a deep breath. Let's not get overwhelmed by what's happening, and let's break it down. Right now, though, right off the bat, you can see that we're clearly in something here starting to form, and that's an ascending triangle getting tighter and tighter with a measured move. And I see just, next 4 to 5 hours of tightness, and Bitcoin has to break out soon. We talked about this on the daily. We went over this every single day here. I never leave you down. So let's take a look here at the 2-week chart for Bitcoin and see what I see happening. I get rid of the moving averages for now. I just want to see price action in all its clarity. I get rid of the indicators that I'm not using. I just want to see the VRVP in price action. All right. I just want to see the V. Who says I won't do it? Who says, so please add me to your trading group. Just keep coming back and learn the sauce. You'll be awesome. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Thank you for the super chat. Sam is the best. I'm getting back to profitable game thanks to him and to the 99. Sending love from Brazil. Shout out to Guilherme Muck. We love you, Muck. And we hope everything's going well. Yes, thank you. I would like to know, what is crypto savvy? Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Why even bring that up? That's insanity. Yeah. When you're bearish for years on end and then you just eventually, I don't know. I can't even. God bless everybody in the space. My grandfather never spoke about anybody negatively. He just didn't. That's what my aunt said. He said he just, he couldn't get him to say a bad word about somebody. He was smart. He knew better. So I take the same approach from my grandfather and keep my mouth shut. God bless everybody in the space. God bless all the streamers. I wish everybody success and love, because if I wish success and love on others, then it'll become to me. All right. So Look, that's a bull flag on the 2-week chart breaking out. Pattern says we go to 140K for Bitcoin, right? The weekly inside of the rising wedge. Rising wedges break out parabolically. They're basically ascending triangles with such demand that they create an uptrend. That's really all it is. They're formations of the same pattern, just pressed by different intensity, right? If there's more intensity on that pattern, it's going to become more stress to the upside. So we see $165,000 Bitcoin is the target here. Says we can get there on an extreme move by September 15th. When the rate cuts come and everything starts to boom, and then we get the extra money flowed in that you don't have to pay as much interest for, of course that money's going to flow and people are going to use it to their advantage. They all do it together and extreme moves come. When all the money comes at once, what happens when you dump a bucket of water on someone? They get wet. It's called liquidity, is it not? All right. Shout out to the chat. Where's my chat at today? How's everybody doing in the chat? Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Hypothetically, it's being massive debt. So am I going to do it or not? You think I'm really going to do it? Of course I'm going to do it, right? I would never not do that, right? You think I would actually just, play games? You think it would just be like, or would I actually go all the way? Shout out to Dizzy Gang. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Christopher Columbus. Shout out to everybody here on the live. That'll be the blow off. It may not even be the blow off. That might actually be the retracement. Back down to a 618 from like an impulse down there. I could see us like making some type of squiggly that an impulse. And then you never know. I mean, there could be more. And that puts you at about $200,000 Bitcoin by March 9th. And we could get a double leg up here to the upside. That's possible. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll look at all the parameters. But the weekly will be getting closer and closer to a bearish div. Actually, my mind created another epiphany that I could teach you too. I'm going to split this in half. I have 2 epiphanies now that I just had. 2 things that are going to show you something that you wouldn't believe. My mind just got sparked on a higher level. Okay, so the weekly looking absolutely beautiful. The weekly is broken out too as well. And we just want to make sure that this candle closes above 109,000. Very important. I don't want to see tweezer tops here. This was green. Now it's playing games yet again. 5-day chart looking very, very bullish. And I'm going to get rid of this bigger stuff to kind of show you what I see. Right now, the 5 days above 5-day resistance, which became support at about 104,008, 104.52, which was a key area on the weekly. As long as we hold above that, I remain bullish. This looks like some type of ascending triangle to me that could break out. I know it's not perfect with those 2 candles, but that was kind of like a liquidity grab. And then you can even just bring it higher and put it down there. I mean, however you want it, it's a bullish pattern to me. It's a bull pennant. 140K is the target for the 5-day chart. And then to the 3-day, which I gave you the call right there. Entry right there. Stop below this wick. You're still in the money on that 3-day chart if you hung. I hung with big money spot. Like I'm talking, I don't even want to tell people what I did since none of anybody's business anymore at this point. All you know is that I load up on BTC heavy. Like heavy. I see these other people with their little levy trades and stuff, but they ever buy Bitcoin? I don't know. I show you guys that I'm stashing BTC because I know that it's getting scarcer and scarcer and scarcer and scarcer and scarcer. Bigger companies are buying more. $145,000 is the 3-day chart. We could say, the only bearish scenario that I got going on, because I'm open-minded, anything could be possible. I don't want to be a perma bull. I want to be an open-minded trader that takes advantage of anything that I see. I don't want to be stuck on it has to be one way. It has to be. No, I can't do that. That's not going to get us the results we're looking for, okay? This could come back down still. We could still come test 106,008. It's not over yet that we could come back down here. So I'm just, and then we could go sideways and then make a massive breakout. It would make sense too. So we'll see. Who says that I drink it? Who says I don't? Dang, Sam, take a look at that big trade you got. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. Marius. You don't stress anything on your trades. This trade I'll have open for days, like weeks. It doesn't really matter how long. I just let it sit there for days. Yeah, I don't stress moves like this. 108,650. Not a big deal. That trade's been open for a long time. So let's take a look here. If we come all the way back down to 100,006, it would make sense. You know what I mean? Come all the way back down here. We keep hitting a resistance, especially on the 3-day chart. You can see, what is that resistance? It's about 109,000. We can't seem to hold the candle above 109. Look at the short squeeze happening right now. The long squeeze, they're going after the longs. People jumped in late. It was a pump today, and everyone said, oh, I'm going to get in late. You don't want to be getting in like that. You build your positions over time. You hold them. You have conviction, and you go from there. It is what it is. You see? So this could come back down somewhere here to what, 106,008? You have to be open-minded that's a possibility. I've been talking about it too for days now. For days. Last night I could see that the Bitcoin was going to move up on the 15-minute time frame. It looked very likely. I said watch for a pump back up on that 1 hour 15. And that was inside of this little channel. So this is kind of where we stand. I'm now sitting here on the daily time frame, right? And kind of defied the right shoulder, which a lot of people got short on. So you can see there was a shoulder ahead. A lot of people got short here. We did not. We called long because we got above the 1 minute 2, and then we called the daily reversal. I understand how the daily candles reverse, so I can see things that most people can't see. You can too, because you be coming to the channel now every single day. So you're learning how price reverses. See, that's what we really do here. We watch the daily candle and watch how it really reverses, and then we find the smaller time frames that give us, like, what indication do the small time frames give you before the bigger time frames move? And then it all comes together. It becomes one big piece. All right. At first, you can't even manage the 1 minute to the 1 hour because your brain, you got to train your brain to manage time frames. I couldn't manage multiple time frames in my head, and I didn't have the capacity. It's very simple to weightlifting. A guy can lift more weights. I can handle more time frames now. I put my mind to the test. If you keep stressing your mind through neuroplasticity, you will eventually get better and smarter whatever you do. This is another key insight that I'm teaching you about going live every single day. Everyone says he goes live every day. What is it? Is he money hungry? Is he attention hungry? What is it? No, I'm just stuck on what I'm doing. I love being stuck in the moment. I don't stress the money. I don't stress the views. I don't stress any of it. I just show up. I know if I keep showing up, everything else will follow. If I stress anything else, it's a lack of signal. Today, I talked about the 80-20 noise rule. I watched the video by, where, Kevin O'Leary worked for Steve Jobs. And he said the guy was a mean guy. He was. And he says, I don't care what they want. I don't care what people ask for. I don't care what the kids want. I don't care what the teachers want. I don't care what the parents want. They want what I need to tell them what they want. That's what they need. And Kevin said, Steve, you sound like a complete butthole. And he said, he's like, have I got the number one, Q4 earnings every year? Like, have I nailed it every time? He's like, then shut up and listen to what I'm telling you. And it was like, he was vicious with business, right? May not have been the nicest guy, but he knew basically what was noise and what was signal. Every day in my business, every day here on the channel, there's things I can teach you, right? I have 2 hours, okay? Every day, about a little less, an hour and 50 minutes, right? Depending. So, and I have an hour and 50 minutes to talk to you every single day, okay? 100%. Now, we bring that up. We talk about it. Now, if I fill this time with a bunch of nonsense, you're going to tune off, right? The channel's going to kind of slump down. But if I give you great life information, if I pack it, and so what I'm trying to do is give you more signals than noise on this channel. What is a signal? A signal is something that you can use to actionably change your life or do something different, you know what I mean? Or that helps your business run. Like right now, my business has 10 things to go, like that we're doing right now. Like there's a bunch of things, right, that I got to be doing. And I got signals and noise. For instance, you could waste your day doing something and not get any signals done. You see what I'm saying? Sue it up and show up. Thank you. Shout out to the 1,290 beautiful souls here on the live. That is a blessing in the middle of the summer. Everyone's going to come back. Everyone that you're here, you guys are the OGs. They'll all come back. We'll have 3,000 people here on the stream, 5,000 people on the stream. They will come back. Bitcoin will be booming. It'll be 150K. And they'll call us lucky. They'll call us lucky again. And will we be lucky? I don't know. Do I do it? Are you going to stay for it? Do you want to see it? Who wants to see it? Who can't take it? Who gags when they see it? Who can't? You got to play with it. You can't just do it. It's such a monumental move. You just can't. You got to just. The newsletter is awesome. Shout out to the newsletter I put out every single week. I hope you guys are loving it. We work very, very hard to put that newsletter out and get it going. So I remember how intimidating the charts were when I first started. Now they make sense. Me too. The weekly used to be this like scary person that I didn't want to talk to. I was like, that weekly's a big deal. So anyway, signals and noise. Your whole life is, are you using signals or noise? There's good people in your life that are signals, people that are helping you get other things done. They're actually leading you towards efficiency. They're saying, hey, right? The Aries are still here with you, brother. Oh, yeah, the Aries never die, man. Strongest, we love you, Aries. I'm an Aries, man. We put it all the way, baby. I just watched Kevin's interview. It's a must watch. It really was. It was worth it. I don't always love Kevin O'Leary, but, it was pretty spot on. And he talked about signals and noise. And he talked about the 80-20 rule. And he said, basically, if Steve Jobs had a list of things to do that day, and he put it down like this, Steve would identify the top 3 things of all the stuff that they had to do that mattered the most to the company. And he'd get those top 3 things done first, no matter what. In 18 hours, he had to get those things done. If you didn't get those things done, what's the point? Today, your business needs exactly 3 main things to survive or to do better. There's something you could be doing to making it better, okay? Find out what that is and get rid of the noise. Maybe you're going after smaller time customers and you could set an ad that specifically target markets your best type of customer. Why don't you run that ad today or find out how to run that ad so you can start cutting off the fat. Stop wasting your time with clients that aren't paying you, what you deserve and that are more of a pain in the butt than they need to be, okay? Very similar with my trading group. We found a price action. We were at $50, $75. We got people that were they didn't put as much effort as we needed. Then they complained more. We raised the price of the trading group. We got higher end people that complain less, that push more. You get what I'm saying? We never really got a lot of complaints. I noticed a difference in the type of person. We made that change, right? Signal to noise. Then the noise was, oh, we don't know, double guessing. The signal is no. You know what you need to do, make it better, get it done. Anyway, that's important with trading too. Everything I'm teaching you right now is everything to do with trading, all right? I lost 6% on my funded account. What should I do? I messed up. I don't know. I don't use them yet. Yeah. What did Orange Man say? Why are we dumping this time? I know, right? You never know. Let's take a look here. Are we still dumping here? Yeah, 108,500. Right back down. Every single time we hit this key level at 109, things look awesome. So anyway, the daily candle now is starting to look a little sketchy with a wick to the downside. We keep hitting this area. Look, every time we hit 109.6, 109.5, and then we even have a resistance further up too as well. Right there where these candles hit. So we got to get back above 110,004, 110,005 to remain bullish. And then the all-time high, right? Which is crazy, right? That's the all-time high sitting right there. We're so close, yet so far away. So far away. See, that's a little news. I didn't need to do that. But I also think laughter is good. You got to laugh sometimes. You got to make a joke, I think the smartest people are always making a joke. Elon Musk is making a joke every day of his life. The guy is constantly joking around. Look, this is a bit of a bull pennant, but shoulder, head, I've seen this, and it's not your best head and shoulder, but it's 3 lower highs in a row, right? Wouldn't be surprised if you did slump back down to the channel. It could be a bit of a Bart Simpson. And you'd be back here somewhere 107,000, 106.9 for BTC, right? Clear skies above 110. 109 giving us a lot of problems. Exactly. So this could definitely come back down to test this key level. We could definitely come back down and see 104.5. We could, we will watch it each time. Again, we know what levels matter. We know the first thing that will have to happen is you'll lose the 4-hour 200 moving average. If that happens, I'm out of my longs. You know what I mean? Basically, my stops are down here. I could take any of this range. We go basically 3,000 stops down. Basically, if I get liquidated at 105.8 or something, right? Or we go up to here. So that's the plan. We get to here. I cut off the trade. I never have to get liquidated. Make sure, basically, I make sure my stop loss is a third at least of my liquidation. So if I was going to risk $6,000 on liquidation, my stop would be 2. And I'd have a plan. And I'd be okay with cutting it off even if it went back up inside. Then I'd get back in the trade and I'd rip it again. Because I know it could have been the catalyst down. But if you don't do this years and years, you'll second guess what you're doing. See, I've learned that probability only gets given to you when you use it. Yes. See, this is what happened when I started really trading, day trading, every single day, making constant trades a week, grinding, taking my NASDAQ, account, taking my regular accounts, just grinding. I started realizing, you know what? People can't see what I see because they're too afraid to make as many trades as I'm making. I said, if you're too afraid and you can't get into a consistent movement of trading, and see, this is the epiphany that I had. Why are some traders making more than others? Why are some traders successful and other traders not? It's a very simple thing. And I'm going to talk about it today on the NASDAQ, on the NASDAQ futures here. So let's talk about what happened this morning on the NASDAQ, and let's break it down. Look, I said let's sell the top. They gave away all those gains. That's why it's a daily process. Who cares what happens after we sell? Tomorrow we do it again. You see what I'm saying? That's it. And we just keep growing. That's all. So this morning I saw that this was an inverted head and shoulder and an Adam and Eve double bottom. These break out the length of the base right up, and they break out, I'd say, about 90% of the time. They're very accurate. So that's basically where you were going to go, somewhere around there, 23,000. And that's basically, I think it hit an all-time high. The NASDAQ did hit an all-time high again here as it wicked to an ATH, which is pretty crazy. So now a lot of traders will see inverted head and shoulders, but they'll be like, they've patterns play out. They'll watch 5 YouTubers, all right? One YouTuber says me, and he's the pattern trader, Sam Price, the crypto lifer, right? Then he watches another guy who's like a fib guy, who says he's not really sure, and he thinks NASDAQ's going to dump, right? Then he watches another guy who does like, exo charts and only like liquidity and says, patterns don't work. Don't use patterns. Like people use patterns may lose money. It's for retail losers, right? So this guy's got so much in his head now, this trader, because he's watched all these different YouTubers, that he can't take this inverted head, or he takes it. Some days he's on Sam's team, some days he's on this guy's team, some day he watches 5 different YouTubers, and he goes in between which one he likes each time. You see what I'm saying? And so he doesn't. So one day, once a week, he goes, Sam's right, I'm going to take that. But then a few days later, he sees the same inverted head and shoulder on another coin. He says, the patterns don't work though. That guy's right. So what happens is he starts doing 5 different things. In 2 to 3 years, 5 years, he's watched a bunch of YouTube. He knows a lot about trading. He can teach someone how to trade. The guy knows his fibs. He knows, but he has no consistency in his life. He has no clue what's happening. He's actually the worst trader in the world. He knows nothing. He knows everything to hurt himself and nothing to help himself. He'd be better off just learning the 200 moving average and waiting to buy when you get above it and doing nothing else. Or only, or pattern, like sticking to one thing. So I stick to one thing. I pattern trade. When I see an inverted head and shoulder, I take the trade. I'm okay with losing it because I know I'm going to win more than I'm going to lose. So I consistently do it. This is why some people are losing, more people are losing, and some people are winning, but they have the same amount of knowledge. You got to be consistent. You have to take the action. And again, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you when to buy or sell. I'm not telling you what to do. But you must take consistent action in trading, or you're not going to find the consistency that real traders find. See, I found the golden edge, and I didn't even know it existed until I went all the way. But if you don't go all the way, if you don't trade almost every day, you got to trade a lot. I have to be honest, too. You don't have to overtrade, but to find your sauce, you kind of have to. I think it's good to be in that 1 minute, the 5 minute, for me, that's how I learned. So, and you grind through all that. Then you can extrapolate. And then you can, again, now I'm going to say something, then you can start trading the weekly and not having to trade every day. Then you can start trading the daily. Only until you trust the patterns on the small time frames will you trust them on the daily and the weekly. You're not just going to start trusting. When I see this now weeks from now, I've traded an Adam and Eve, I don't know how many times in my life. Let's actually do a cool little thing, right? We can write Adam and Eve inside the trading group here. And you can see how many times I've pointed out an Adam and Eve to my trading group. Right? We can just look at how many times. Look, there was an Adam and Eve right there that played out this morning. Beautiful, right? ARC is in an Adam and Eve there. Looks like it's going to eventually kind of curve on out. We'll watch that over time. Adam and Eve. Look, people finding their Adam and Eves, inverted Adam and Eve. It was an inverted Adam and Eve. Sorry, I should have made that clear. Look, Adam and Eve there. That's not inverted. That's yeah, right. That's an inverted Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve well, they could be. Yeah, I guess we call inverted or double bottom. Yeah. Look, Adam and Eve there, liquidity. I'm just, we and it's just me. It's everyone else in the group. But it's 83. It goes over and over. My whole point is, look, there it is again, right there. 68% chance we pump hard. There was an Adam and Eve there on BTC that broke to the upside. It did play out. I remember my buddy took this trade. He said, thank you. You remember one of my good friends called me. He said, I saw that Adam and Eve. So you're going to learn so much in my trading group. Look, 2,052 results. I've been doing this for a long time. So now that I've seen the Adam and Eve play out, I might see it on the weekly and I'll put 100 racks down, 200 racks down. It'll change my life. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm using the same strategy over and over again and I'm not skipping on myself. Very, very important. So that's why most traders are losing and other traders are winning using the exact same strategies. It has everything to do with showing up more consistently. All right. The more consistent you show up, the more you're going to win over time, in my humble opinion, because you're going to be able to trust the probability. See, it's about making a mental mind connection with the actual movement of the chart. That's what's going to change the way you trade. That's what's going to get you. I only watched Sam, never joined a group until I became a lifer. The best, man. Shout out to my man, TPT1 Don. God bless you, brother. This is why I joined the trading group, the 99. Sam is the master friend, taught me how to succeed at reading price action and when to trade. Go to cryptolifer.com. That's another thing. When to trade. Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights. What happened last night? We pumped, right? It was a what? It was a Tuesday night. One of my favorite nights to trade. Like, I can't tell you how many times I blindly open trades on a Tuesday night and they play out. Crow bumping to the upside. We can see that kind of cup and handle there, and it got rejected by what? The 200 moving average. You see? On the daily. Perfect place to take profits. Perfect place to get in. We got rejected there both times. When we hit the daily 200, that was a perfect place to be selling, or as we preemptively got up towards it. Is the NASDAQ going to continue? Did I preemptively sell early? No, it gave back almost everything. You move your stop loss into profit the second you're up when you're leverage trading. Again, you do whatever makes you happy, but for me, that's the key. That's the goal. That's the sauce. So Bitcoin, I see it getting tight. I wouldn't be surprised if for the next 16 hours, we just do this. And we figure out, because they're going to play with us. Why let us know immediately? They're not going to do that. If they can keep us sideways, they can get a bunch of people freaked out. We're going to pump. They can get a bunch of people getting ready to short. They'll get liquidity on either end, and then they'll be able to probably pump and dump it, pump it, whatever they want. For me, I'd go up and then down again, or down and then up again. Why not? I take it all. I take everything I could. Let's just be honest. If that was the business you were in, you would be efficient at it. You would take everyone for a ride. So they can send short. They'll do whatever they can to manipulate that market and grab the liquidity. It is what it is. But see, that becomes, and everyone will say, oh, that's manipulation. The markets are rigged. But that becomes a pattern in and of itself. See, they live inside of a mathematical system. So when they think they rigged us and did it all, so their own greed leads to patterns. Don't you get it? And because they're overly greedy, they're going to have patterns. We're going to be able to see what they're doing. And so a greedy person will always be able to be seen from the person that's patient and quiet. Because they're going to have impulsive moves that we can watch on a chart. Greed makes you do things you shouldn't be doing. You grab and trip and you manipulate, right? So think about it. As long as you stay tried and true, you do this every day, we're going to see the manipulation. We're going to know what they're doing. And it's not going to be that hard for you to understand. That's why we watch the short squeeze here on this channel. How many short squeezes have we watched, everybody? How many times? 1,000, 500? Let me get a number. How many times have you been here? Any OGs? How many times have you seen a short squeeze here on this channel? And you watch them go and liquidate everybody on BOOKMAP to the upside. It's insane, right? So, bro, I keep using the stop loss, but keeping it in my head to hide my play. If you move the stop loss too close, it could trigger the market move towards the liquidity. It depends on who. See, that's a false idea. Someone's told you that, and you've got it in your head now. So you won't use a stop loss. Someone that says that is about to get liquidated. I know that. I've heard this exact stuff before. Bro, I use a stop loss, but keep it in my head. You could do that too. I mean, you could do that too. You could say, if we get to this level, I'm out. All right? But be careful, because what happens then is it gets there, and then you start thinking about it. Trust me, as a trader, not having a stop loss, you'll still, because you're a different person every 2 hours. What I mean by this is we're the same people. We're not but what I'm saying is the market will shift on you. You're going to get different information, and you're going to think differently about the market 2 hours from now than you do right now. And the stop loss, and then you might say, you know what, I'm going to stay in on this one. I was going to cut it off at 500, but now I'm going to do 1,000. Then it's 1,000. Now I'm 2,000. Then you end up losing. I tell you right now, trading in the zone is Mark Douglas. This isn't words from me. This is an older trader. And he says the only thing you can control is your stop loss. That's the one thing you know for sure. I always use one. Very rarely do I use a mental stop loss. The times I've used a mental stop loss, it usually causes some pain for me. Yeah, I've had to sit in the trade way too long. Instead of just going 300 for 1,000, I'm sitting in the trade down 2,500. I got to wait for drawdown. It happens. So I've learned my lessons, and I still do. I never said I was a perfect trader, and I never will be. You see what I'm saying? But what I did do is I do the right thing. I take care, like I DC into Bitcoin, even if I'm risky into an altcoin. You know, I take advantage of what's happening. And I still find some crazy memes like this coin. We put it out right here at 0.004. When I first started looking at it, it pumped all the way to 2. It did about a little under a 4x for the group. I found it at 660,000 market cap, but was weary of it because I wasn't ready to get into memes just yet. But I saw it next night, boom. So then I put it out here. It's been ripping ever since. I put it out right there at the 786. It ripped up again, 109% gains. You got the perfect setup right there. And this is called DJI 6930. It tends to rival SPX 6900. It's got that same idea. It's got a big following. It's got cult movement. If anything could do it, this could do it. I saw it go from 660 to a $17 million market cap. They could rug it. You never know. It's high risk, high reward. Never buy anything you see on YouTube. Do your own research, right? But this is, I did look at it here. It's booming ever since I put it out and continuing to rip to the upside, up 369%. Right now, it's still up 320% from when I first kind of started calling it out there at 042, 044. And I saw it at 660. I did keep it to myself, and I should have. But hey, when the market starts heating up, it takes me a second to get back into that high risk attitude, you know. BOOKMAP, which is linked in the description, they have a sale going on all the way to the 11th. So jump on in there. This, you know, from the 4th to the 11th, they're a beautiful week of sales at BOOKMAP. Check this out. I mean, it suggests that we are going to go lower. It's got liquidity all the way down to 107.5. You know, so not guaranteed, but it says if we go, it says the biggest red is usually where you go. I'm just teaching you how BOOKMAP works. The biggest red is down here. Now, they could be spoofed. They could switch it and go up. There is a decent amount here at 110.5. So we're not out the water yet. Like, I don't think we're not dumping, the shorts aren't out the water yet. We could still liquidate these shorts. All right. And you can see orders coming into the book too, and you can see liquidations. This is awesome. When people get liquidated, these little red boxes come. When people get liquidated to the upside, they're green. When they're liquidated down, they're red. It's awesome. Because they got to buy when they're short, right? They have to cover the cost. So that's BOOKMAP. Let's get back to brass tacks here for Bitcoin. So the 4-hour time frame, I wouldn't be surprised if we just go sideways. The low you could see is 108.3. We could drop all the way down to 106.9, right? We're looking for a higher low above 105.3, right? This area. It's kind of what we're looking for. So what do I see happening for Bitcoin? I mean, it could easily go to the downside, right? And I'd still be bullish because we'd be inside the bigger channel. You see this? I wouldn't mind us going tight and breaking out. Let's see. The smaller time frames are going to start giving me a percentage. Let's take a look at where the 4-hour stochastics are. Tight moving averages. See how close they are? Above. We're on the 21 above the 200. 90% of the time, that's going to give you a pump. So that has me more bullish than bearish right now. That the 4 hours actually could break out today to 114,000. Like, we could see an all-time high in the next 2-3 days. We definitely could. This could be our last little dump just to try to pull in those shorts again before we rip it. All right, so should I do so? Short squeeze 8 out of 10 Mondays for the last 3 years. Crazy, right? They caught Vegas Claw with no pants on liquidity. You're funny, man. Shout out to Vegas Claw. Bella Coax, that's hilarious. I know, right? Too many times, my man. I execute the stop loss as needed, but I don't leave it as a preset stop loss to close too close to price action. I just find that most of my stop losses don't get hit, like my NASDAQ didn't, the one on the 3-day chart for Bitcoin. If you know where to place your stop loss and you're not greedy. So here's another thing. Here's another epiphany. Greed. Let's talk about greed. Let's talk about it. Greed, right? Bitcoin's in a bit of a flag here on the 1 minute. The greedy guy wants to turn 1,000 into let's say 1,000. He wants a 10x $100. He wants to turn 100 to 1,000. So he's all leveraged up with 100. His stop loss is right here, and boom. And they yank him out, right? Bang. Now, one guy, this is what I do now. The smarter guy's got a bigger account. He understands. He doesn't need the money immediately. He knows how to grow money over time. He has patience. He doesn't have that need to get it right now, right? That have to. That's what really gets people going. Dude, Bitcoin just went from 108.8 to 8,950 in a second. Looks like it's going to squeeze these shorts to the down, Just be careful shorting Bitcoin. It's in a crazy uptrend. So the point is, so what I do is I go look at the 4 hour. So let's say you look at the 1 minute, it's in a beautiful flag. Then you look at the 4 hour, it's in that flag we're talking about. It's on the 21 above the 200. This is the flag. This is the 21-day moving average. This is the 200. Just take that in if you can. I hope you're with me. So what I do is I just put a stop loss like deep and I take profit up here, knowing that I believe they're probably going to stop hunt, but the overall movement's going to go my way. So I basically, what I do is I buffer the zone, and then I make it and I say, okay, I'll go 500 for 3,000 here, or or 500 for 2,000, or 500 for 1,500 here. And now they go down, boom, and that's why I always post gains when everyone else is like, yeah, but it was a stop hunt. I lost all my money because you guys are too close to the bone, and you want to win too hard. You're too greedy. The greed is making your stop losses, and so the greedy guy will get hit 10 times. He'll lose $1,000. He'll keep losing $100. I always tell everyone, watch this too. This is another idea. There'll be two people in my trading group. One guy with $5,000, one guy with 500. All right. The guy with $5,000 wants to make more money. The guy with 500 is a little more patient. Same idea. Here's this. I'll give a setup in the trading group, right? I'll be like, all right, this is likely to break out. Wait for the tight moving averages. We got an alert right here, right? Boom, it hits. The less greedy guy's like, all right, I want to make, a stop loss of $200, and I want to make, let's just say, $600, okay? And I'm going to put my stop loss below the lowest low down here. The next guy's he's like, you know what? I'm going to put my stop loss right here, and I'm going to risk $1,000 for $3,000. This guy's got a $5,000 account. This guy's got a $500 account. This guy gets hit once, twice, 3 times, right? He's down to $3,000, $2,000. He's lost $1,000 3 times. They never hit this guy up, right? And he's turned his $500 into $1,100, right? Because he wasn't as greedy as this guy. You see what I'm saying? This guy eventually grows the account. In a year's time, this guy's got 50 racks. This guy's down $50,000. So like everyone makes fun of my little gains a lot, right? I think some people snicker at me, but they don't realize that that's how you get rich. But because everyone else is greedy and less patient, they don't realize how patient the rich are. Man, I learned the richer I got, the more patient I became. Now I wait for the money to come to me. I don't chase the money. Like my patience has created abilities beyond my belief. Right? Because when you're patient, you're not going to chase. Like if you were a patient man who knew women were attracted to you, you wouldn't sit there and chase women. You would know that attracted women were going to come up to you eventually. You were going to meet them. They were going to make eye contact. You were going to have no problems. Very similar with money. I believe I'm that way with money. Money is attracted to me. I don't have to chase it. It sees me. It's attracted to me. It's magnetic. Money wants to flow to the hardest workers in the game. Money wants to flow to people that don't take a day off. Money wants to flow to someone that cares so much about their business that they would put every single thing they have into it 100% all the time. You know what I'm saying? So once you start realizing that money will flow to that individual, become that individual, and money will flow to you. Oh my God, I just broke your brain, right? Money's going to flow to that skeleton, that blood formation. You see what I'm saying? That human being that's doing it, it's going to flow to this human being. It's not about your personality. It's not about you. It's whoever is attracting the hardcore energy, working real hard, money's going to flow to that person. So all you need to do is study people that are getting money. Why is money flowing to certain people and not to others? It's not an accident. Nothing is just like, oh my gosh. There's something that person's doing with their mindset. They may be working out. They may be keeping their energy high. There's something that person's doing with their physicality that's changing their mental process that's attracting money into their life. You need to find people like this if you want to get rich, and you need to study them because they're leaving clues. They're doing things every day that they can't hide from you, and they're showing you the steps in the processes to get in the bag, okay? And it's not about money, but it's about being free. Do you want a boss that puts you down every day and talks down to you like I had? No. I had 2 bosses that weren't too cool. 3 bosses in my life that really weren't the best. They were nasty people, and they took their negative, nasty, emotional energy and they put it on me. That was horrible for me. As a sensitive, loving guy, I didn't do well with that. It made me angry. It made me upset. It definitely affected me. I wasn't cool with it. I eventually got so affected. See, I was such a sensitive person that not having my own money, working for someone else, was such a horrible feeling that I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't live life. I felt like I was suffocating when I worked for other people. When I didn't have my own business, I felt like I was dying inside, like I was living a half a life. Like I saw all these awesome businessmen living their life and I was being subpar. I was being like, just enough. And I said, what is it about me? Why am I not going all the way? Why am I living a half a life when I should be going all the way? Why am I wearing Costco's hoodies and the same jeans at a night shift when I should be out there with pocket squares and three-piece suits talking in front of thousands of people? Why was I hiding myself on the night shift from 31 to 36 years old? I had a lesson to learn. God was teaching me something for sure. 109,000 for Bitcoin. Shorts are getting absolutely splattered again. This market got heavy volatility. I'm telling you right now, I'm overall more bullish than bearish. My liquidation 105.8. Will I make it? Will lifers slide on through and show the massive gains, or will he get bashed on in? Only time will tell here. Okay? But it's fun to show you guys what's going on, right? It's fun to be part of the sauce. 109,100 for Bitcoin. Taking no names and kicking boot. I love it. I love it, man. My baby BTC, I trusted in Bitcoin my whole life. Not for 10 years, not my whole life, but for a long time. I put so much faith in Bitcoin. I bought more Bitcoin when everyone else said no. When it was 1,000, 3,000. When it tanked back to 6,000, all the way from 20,000, people told me I was crazy. Went back to 3,000 from 19,000. They told me I was sick. They told me, why do you keep buying this stuff? You're out of your mind. I said, you're out of your mind. I said, they're going to print your money to zero and you don't see it. I said, you don't see it. Right? I was like this. The Genie Foundation, right? What is it? I haven't gone here on this computer. But the fiat currency graveyard, right? I'll find it. If I could spell one day. Still get a little nervous. I got thousands of people watching me. They'd always say, hey. But this is like the fiat currency graveyard, U.S. money supply, right? They're increasing it, right? And they're printing it to zero. Look at the dollar. It's lost its purchasing power beyond belief. And look, why do they have to have a Peruvian dollar that's like $100,000 bill? $5 million a year. Hungarian million pangos. Right? The German, tells you right now, Bitcoin's going to $200,000. Governments continue to print money to zero, man. The Nicaraguan 10 million Corredobas, right? Belarus, 100,000 rubles in 1996. Like, this has been going on for a long time. Look, based on historical average lifespan of a fiat currency in a data table, your country's total debt to GDP ratio approaches or exceeds 200%. There's a high probability your fiat currency will be buried in the fiat currency graveyard. This is based on data. Right? The only currency that can escape the fate is a well-designed cryptocurrency, not gold, silver, or any other physical commodity, because they can all be confiscated by the governments controlled by politicians. I love how they're pushing crypto, right? But you can see, you can see what's happening here. All right, and this is just a little basis, and there's probably some other intricate stuff. This isn't all of the data, but this kind of lets you know. Holding the dollar bill may not be the best look. All right, Bitcoin bouncing. Let's take a look at how it did it on the smaller time frames. It bounced off the 15-minute 200 moving average. It decided it was not going to give up the 15-minute 200. Been playing a lot with the 15-minute 200. Got above there, got a nice pump. Got above there, got a nice pump. Got above there, created this pump too. Had you hid below this, see, I just hide below 200 moving averages now. I don't even need patterns. Isn't that crazy? I wait for a candle to get above a 200. I just get in and go to sleep. Wake up the next day, and I get to manage the trade. Sometimes it's up, and I come down, I'm here. I'm like, dang, I wish I woke up sooner, But hey, man, I've loved this. I started trading really freely with the 200 about, I'd say 2.5 years ago. Who here has watched me transition? Who's watched me? You guys have watched me, right? You saw me. Who here has watched me transition as a trader? It's been an amazing journey, right? You guys saw me when I first started with the hoodie and the chain. Come on, man. This has been crazy. This is 6 years going, 6 years running. My bot reopened a bullish cycle, entered a trade, trying for 85 towards the momentum before selling. Wish me luck. My bot's still in a long. My bot copped along when I did a long time ago. How you measure the rising wedge? I just asked in the Discord learning questions because I'm getting 200K and I think I'm doing it wrong. No, I think you're spot on. I'm getting about that too. Yeah. I did it already at the beginning of the stream. Just go back to the stream earlier today and you're going to see the rising wedge move. All right. And despite these pumps, I do see just sideways price action. We're in a range, we're range bound in between 188 and 195 and just kind of tight, getting tight. I could see the daily getting tight. I'd love to see the daily close green though. That's beautiful right there. Nice green candle. And then that weekly, really want to see the weekly close above this previous candle. That's the main thing for me this week. All right. I'm not going to do it, right? This is all for show, right? I'm a show artist, right? I mean, it goes down pretty easy. You know, there's not really even a bit of a taste. Feels a little funny, though. Makes you kind of want to gag a little bit. I did it, though. He did it. Unexpectedly. Yeah. 1 year watching the original Cake Man. Yeah, so, this guy knows me from Cake. Only been in it for a year, but you've gotten sharper for sure. Yeah, I've been in it for a long time. You shaped me for the better. I love that. Shout out to JSoul84. I love you, brother. Oh, man, I love you, man. You're like someone that I know I can't wait to meet one day. Can't wait to meet you. You're going to put in all the hard work. You're going to become an amazing man. You already are an amazing man. God bless you, brother. You got the right mentality and the right process. You just got to fine tune it. You're going to get there. I know you are. I put rise my protein shake, give it a good consistency, no taste whatsoever. Yeah, you won't even know it's there. Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Future Prophet. Shout out to everybody here on the live. All right, so Bitcoin. Hey, man, I don't got time to cook, man. I got to keep it moving. I'm the crypto lifer. I got 1,000 people watching me all the time. We got attention. We got movement. We got to trade the NASDAQ, Bitcoin, altcoins. We got to get it going. So now, look, the 1 hour is touching the 21 above the 200 moving average. A bullish sign for me, right? And I trade if you break inside of a pattern and get back inside, you're still bullish. So you lost the pattern, but you got back inside. So this is simply just a broken ascending triangle. It tells me that this is a possible trade right here, and it is a Wednesday. So yeah, you could keep your stop. It could be a 2.6. It wouldn't be a 3-to-1. I'd like to keep my stop as close as that 200 as I can, and the take profit could go to 110.9, right? Yeah. Been watching you since your first time on BitBoy. Blessed I've found you. Thanks for everything you do. Shout out to Troy Pedroza. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Drinking fast before Sam Allen sees you. Guys are funny, man. Been watching you, man. We got so many cool people. Master friend, I love you, man. The nanny doesn't cook your meals. May need to find a new one. No, she doesn't. We have a house chef for that. Yeah. Come on, man. If your nanny's cooking, you're just, you're a brokey. You know what I mean? You got to have a chef. If you're over, your nanny takes care of the kids. Your chef cooks the food, man. Let's get real. I'm sorry. I'm just messing around. I do have a chef, though. But she comes in once a week, man. And I don't have her here. I have her in my other house. My other house. That's ridiculous. Gets even worse. I got to just be quiet. I live in a shack in the woods, all right? I like tents. And I shower out of a solar shower. And I use, this is all just a facade. I'm wearing nothing right now. So I like what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get the pump today. And the target takes me to 110.8. I'm more bullish than bearish for sure. But I understand that we could come back down and test this 106.9 area too as well. And only time will tell. So Bitcoin, in a bit of a nutshell, I see it going more sideways or up in the next 8 to 10 hours. That could change tonight at around 8 p.m. as the daily candle closes and I do my next update. But right now, I see more upside than downside for Bitcoin. Call me wrong if I show up tomorrow and it doesn't pump. I'll be okay with that. I like being wrong. It makes you learn. You learn a lot. Let's look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index at 66. A beautiful place to be here. I like it. I like it a lot. So things are in our favor. Thank you. Just close that door. Yeah. Be fine. I love you. Can I have a hug? Can I have a hug? Oh, I love you so much. The pool table, it's supposed to have an appointment, but like we don't have one. They say it's here on the island, but they're not delivering it.
I've had to deal with that when the beds were coming. They said it was here, it wasn't
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
You just gotta wait and see what happens.
They say, can you contact customer service and ask to see? It says,
No, I will do my best.
and just say, hey. They answer really fast. All right. Breaking down Bitcoin, breaking down the world. Talking about it all every single day. 108,950. The volatility is crazy today too, by the way. All right. Off-grid is the flex. Yeah, that's how we live out here, off-grid Colorado mountains. Shout out to Andrew Miller. I love that. Just cook for yourself with the family, bro. Come on, a chef. Yeah, man, I don't have time. Dude, people want one-on-ones. People want to sit with me. People want to meet with me. People are always, I have 3 people that are asking me why I can't call them back right now. Asking me why I can't call them. They're saying, hey, how come you haven't called me back? It's been days. Shout out to crypto. Shout out to all my peoples, man. Shout out to my man Conrad. God bless you, brother. I will look out to call you today. I don't like using my phone when I'm out here with my kids in the summer. I don't want to be on my phone. I want to be out with my kids. And then next thing you know, it's the end of the night. I'm in that jacuzzi. I don't want my phone in the jacuzzi. I can't get all wet, right? Then I'm taking the outdoor shower. Then I'm doing my update. Then I'm passing out. Really, I don't got time for the phone. I don't sit there on the phone. I don't sit there texting. I am in my Discord or I'm in the charts, grinding. That's it. Every single day. That's it. Constantly. It doesn't end. You know? So work isn't work when you love it, but there's some days I'm exhausted and I do my video update. Like, I'm tired. You know what I mean? It's been a long day. It's a summer day in the sun. Like, work is work, man. No matter what it is. Even when you love it, there's days you gotta grind. It's never easy. I don't care. You know, making a call on the NASDAQ last night, making sure I hit it, making sure nobody got stopped out on my calls so that I could actually come out and say, bang. Then saying, hey, I'm selling this right here. This is a good time to sell. And then nailing the local top. I mean, that's not easy. That takes a lot of effort. So, a lot of effort. Yeah, DJI, man, it's about to crack again. Look at it cracking on. About to crack on again, maybe up to 74. Shout out to Scottish Crypto. He was into SPX69. He knew the deal. And he knew about DJI 69. Got in super early. I just cooked some of my pasture-raised chops over charcoal last night in the sunlight. Oh, my God. That's so amazing. Surrounded by pine trees and mountains. Absolutely beautiful. That sounds great. I would love to hang out with you and do that. We could just do Starlink. All right? This channel may change one day. You're going to see me in the woods, all dirty, just trading with Starlink. And I'll be like, man, I sold all the suits for goats. I wouldn't be surprised, you know. I love nature so much more than, you know, like if it said, do you want to live in like the Colorado woods or Dubai? I would pick the Colorado woods like every time. Everyone's like, oh, Dubai, did you love it? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not. It's fun. I got the Rolex. I got the nice suit. You'd think I'd be kind of superficial and into it all. But honestly, I got such a big heart. My mom was so into just nature and love. And so was my dad. And they really took over a lot of my mindset. And I don't know, man. I like it for a second, but then I realize it's just not real. Like, it never seems real to me. Yeah, barefoot trading. Every time. I'm always barefoot out here, right? I got white shorts on today. Looks really nice with the suit. You can wear shorts with your suit as long as you do it right. As long as you do it right. Remember that. Oh, you caught me with no pants on, but I got beautiful white shorts on. You already know. All right, Andrew Miller, I got you. I see you out there doing your thing with the farming. I know what kind of farming you're into. So look at the volatility. Back to 108,850. Crazy price action today. Absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. What I don't like is the 1 minute loss to 200 moving average. We know that's a bearish sign for me, possibly for more downside. The 5 minute testing the 200. Right now, it's like right on it. Look for it to make a slanted inverted head and shoulder. This is something that I'm seeing here. A shoulder, a bit of a head and a right shoulder to break further to the upside here. The slanted inverted. All right. New Hampshire live it is the very way. All New Englanders disappear there. Oh, yeah. New Hampshire's awesome. We might end up there, you know. Half of Kevin O'Leary with the shorts. I don't know. They're really fancy white shorts. So I kind of like feel preppy in these things, you know. They're fancy white J. Crew shorts. I don't know, man. If I was in a pair of like, you know, mesh shorts, then you could call me out. But I would go outside wearing this right now, looking fresh to death in my white shorts, and no one would say a word to me with my suit and tie on. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like wearing the shorts today. So what? What are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? I felt like wearing the shorts. Shout out to everybody here on the 15-minute got some love with the 200 for now. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too. The 15-minute bouncing off that 200 moving average. And just look for this chop city, baby. Chop suey, chop city, chop suey. So I showed you a 1 hour idea. And again, a lot of you, it's chop. A lot of people aren't going to be with that. You're going to be kind of questioning it because if you haven't traded for years and years and taken advantage of the moving averages, you're definitely going to get thrown off. All right. I live at 9,800, still sitting at Victor at my favorite disc golf course right now, listening to Lifer. 9,800 elevation, I'm guessing. So you can barely breathe up there if I showed up at bed. Right. I'm wearing long pants, but shorts are. Sam wears those 1980 shorts to show off his legs. Yeah. The 7-inch seams, baby. You know, no 9-inch, 7-inch. I want my thighs out. I'm just, come on, man. Guys are freaks. We prefer longs over shorts. Shout out to Rave Song Records in the house, man. I like suey because it rhymes with ree, suey ree. Can you simply say Kadanas and make my daughter laugh? Hey, go back to the store and give me a pack of Kadanas. Go buy me a pack of Kadanas and a Sprite. Get me a 7-Up. I like my own joke. My own jokes make me laugh. If your own jokes make you laugh, so be it. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? What are you going to do? Let's break down altcoins. It's 11:18. I'm kind of on Bitcoin. You can see that I'm looking for that bounce. I like it, and I like it a lot. Let's take a look at what altcoins are popping today, if there's anything going on. Last 7 days, Pendle. I like Pendle, especially when DeFi starts to rip, Pendle starts to go. Pendle up 8% in 24 hours tells me to put it back on that radar. Cass seen the bottom at 6.5, bounce back up to 7.7. Okay. Sad to see it that low again, but wow, right? Matic, out of nowhere, had a 10% move the last 7 days. It was up more yesterday, too, as well, I heard. Matic pumping. SPX, 6,900. Aerodrome, back to 71 from that 85 pump, though. Dang. So, altcoins still playing around. Pancake staying above $2. Very strong. BNB, very strong. Bitcoin Cash, very strong. SEI, strong above 25. Floki showing 19% gains. I own some Floki. The memes were up this week with Let's Bonk taking some movement there and some more kind of little coins pumping. And then we also had our DJI 6930. So I haven't put out a small coin that pumped 5-6x in a long time. The market's changing. We're starting to see some differences here. And that's going to lead us to watch Bitcoin. We're going to look at the Fear and Greed Index. We're also going to go look at Bitcoin dominance and take a look. And we're going to run into that super chat that just came on in. Let's take a look at the super chats of the fan funding and see what's happening. We have Guillermo Muck. We have my man, Mr. Muck, man. I love you. Sam is the best. I'm getting back to a profitable game thanks to him and the 99. Sending love from Brazil. We love you, man. Thanks for your great work. If you have time, it would be interesting if you could take a look at Superverse. Greetings from Switzerland. Schweiz? And Victor Navarro with the 99. Let's take a look at what this man is asking about here on Superverse. And then we'll jump back into some things that I want to talk about for you. Super. Right? And there's Superverse and there's also Super. There's two coins that are connected to the Super. Right? Well, they changed the name actually to Superverse, right? So look, everything has this shoulder, head, and shoulder vibe. It's everywhere. It's all over the place. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. It's got that ascending triangle like Bitcoin's. And Bitcoin rips, everything's going to rip. And you can see it. That's what Bitcoin's in right now. It's kind of watching Bitcoin, you see? If Bitcoin breaks out of this ascending triangle, so will Superverse. I like it with the 21 curving, the daily 200 moving average, and the inverted head and shoulder. And then when you look at it really, it's just like everything else on that 3-day. It's got this cup. It's got the handle. To me, it broke out of the cup and handle there with this flag. And that could do bigger damage. Yeah, I see Superverse doing some damage here. I like the overall big picture of getting in here with the stop loss below that previous wick. send us to about, 1.30, right? All the way back to the upside. We had a beautiful gap here on the VRVP, which tells you, hey, you could just fly. I like this stop loss below the wick. This looks interesting to me, and I believe it could play out over time. The charts are telling me that this is a yes. I give it a check. God bless you, man. Hope you're doing well. And again, don't do anything you see here on YouTube. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I'm saying you should be taken as financial advice. All right? I'm not, not a portfolio advisor too. If I ever hang out with you and we have a one-on-one, I'm going to teach you trading. I'm never going to go over your portfolio. I'm not going to tell you what to buy or sell. I just don't do that. Other people offer that stuff. I don't know what that's all about. I don't do it. Yeah. Let's take a look at syrup. We talked about it yesterday with Maple Finance. We put it on your radar. We said it's probably hot. It's one of the bigger gainers. I put it out here with two alerts. Tells me not to get in. And, so my first alert hit, we didn't follow the pattern. My second alert hit, you can see we swung down further down. So this is why I love my alert system. You don't know what's going to happen. You send your projections and then you wait. That's all. So let's take a look here at the daily, the 4-day. Let's take a look at the weekly. The 5-day chart, the 3-day chart, the daily chart. All right. This says we can get all the way to about $78 on a pump, but we're a little winded, but we are getting more oversold. Let's take a look at the 3-day. 3-day is still a little far away for the 21, but not too bad in getting back to oversold. I would watch the 3-day chart. We already know this is getting heavy utility and it's gaining momentum in TVL. More and more people are using it as well. The total value locked, right? So there's something going on here with syrup. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be your bigger bounce. That's a big move. That's 50 cents all the way back to 61 cents. Now, does it take this much time? Maybe not. Maybe it's a lot smaller here. I could see basically 12 days, this thing's back in action, right? It had heavy utility. People are going to sell off, and then investors are going to take their profits when the utility comes on in. I know why people are slamming doors in my house. When I'm the father and I hear a slam door, if you want to get the man of the house upset, slam a door. All right? I'm just telling you. That's how you get it going. Because I have kids. I'm like, what kids' fingers could have been in there? Who's slamming the door? Who thinks they should be slamming doors? Why is the door getting slammed? Sometimes it is the wind, when like someone doesn't realize the wind's carrying it and they move it. And so you always have to, inquire. But been watching Lifer for a while. Just have a little time, except in the mornings. Haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. No worries, Sears Grayson. Do whatever makes you happy, man. If it's your calling, you'll be here with me. All right? So I'm looking for this bounce and for it to consolidate on the daily time frame. It looks like it, that'd be a nice move from 50 to 60. The bigger move, though, is like getting in somewhere at about 58 and riding that puppy all the way to 96. See, there's two trades here. There's the risky entry right now, which could give you the best one, and you could ride it all the way. Might take some up and down, or you get in here and just no drawdown. Here you might go up, down, up, down, up, down. Here you might just kind of start going up. I learned some trades are better on the mind if they keep going up, right? So I try to find areas where the trade would kind of go in my favor the most likely. This is it right there, in my humble opinion. This looks bullish to me. I'm going to start focusing on this more often, and we're going to kind of look at it every couple of days. But this is hot, and we identified why. We saw an article about it. Token Metrics taught me a lot too. And so $3, a lot of slam doors, I know, right? Are you wearing the knee-high blue socks too? Of course. How did you know? With the penny loafers on. Hey, can you get your opinion on the XRP pennant on the weekly? Been DCAing low since it's just triangles. Hey, I've been bullish on XRP. I've had an update for XRP. I've had a call on XRP for, a week or two now. That's an Adam and Eve double bottom. I just showed you one of those that pumped earlier today on the NASDAQ. This says it's going to break out. That's something's brewing here for XRP. Tight moving averages on the daily. My target is 344. The 3-day chart looks lovely. We will have some resistance at 267, but I do see a move up to 267. Look at that double bottom. Adam and Eve. Can you take a look at Toshi, Sam? Thank you. Let's take a look at Toshi, which is Brian Armstrong's cat, if I'm correct, right? Toshi the cat. It looks bullish to me. I see 165% gains coming, but it's going to take its time. That's the 3-day chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 24. It could take a month and a half. It could take anywhere between 20 and 40 days. I don't know exactly when. TA isn't spot on timing, but it tells you what's likely going to happen. This looks good to me. I like it. I've been talking about the bounce there, and that's a 618. I believe it's a 786 bounce. It is right off the 786. That's money printer status right there. That's master friend all day long. And there you go, right? So took the day off, high of 96 today. Shout out to Sirius Grayson. I wonder what that's like to take a day off. I haven't done that in 1,688, 89 days, right? But again, I have a great life. I travel the world. I see things most people never see. I've been places most people will never go. But I never take a day off. So, hey, I differentiated myself from the rest of the world with my work ethic. You could do the same. It's completely up to you. All right. Super chats, Toshi. GTO, please. Thanks, Lifer. First beat is right on time. 100%. Keita, please, brother. Let's take a look at Keita. Happy birthday, Cashmo Crypto. God bless you, brother. Blessed to be hanging out with you. Thanks for the birthday wishes. God bless my man, Justin Cashmore, my good friend, my buddy. Brought me in Sarasota. Came over when I started building my studio. He was there the day I got to Sarasota. Helped me build my studio from day one, man. God bless you. Had to break it down and build it again in the other house. So crazy, right? Then I was getting issues where we were tripping I got so much stuff plugged in, I was tripping the fuse box. And I was like, man, watch this be a problem. Then I'm freaking out. Can this house handle my electricity? It's all, whenever you move into someone new, there's new things that you never thought about. I'm like, why am I tripping the fuse? That was stressful, but hey, we get through it every time, somehow, some way, no matter what. Can we please take a look at Ondo? Been a bit since you went over it. Ondo's been kind of slumpy, man. Went down to 70, did nada. Like Nada Surf. You know that band, Nada Surf? That's what Ondo's like. 108.950 for Bitcoin. Still somewhat indecisive here as we wait. Clearing out a lot of the short liquidations, and the long liquidations at 107.750 still sit. But I feel like we're building more liquidity to the upside now at 110.5 too as well. So more people are taking shorts, which propel the price to the upside. The more they short, the more we will pump. They don't realize that they're the reason we pump. It's FOMO and shorting, and then the average traders like me just kind of throwing their liquidity in at the right time. Same up 30K on demo since the class. You're up $30,000 since you took class. This guy comes, takes my class, and he's up $30,000. I mean, that makes me happy. It is demo. I'd like to see, eventually he'll grow, but take Lifer Vision trading course as it explodes. That's it. Hit the QR code right there. We make it very simple. All right, that's it. Hit that QR code to change your life. That's the one that is a signal. There's 80% noise, 20% signals, or 80% signals. If all you did today was hit that QR code and sign up for class, I'm telling you right now, you would probably cut out a lot of the noise. This will help you cut out the noise. You'll start to see what you should see. Wow, a Nada Surf reference. Now we're close in age, right? Yeah. Nada Surf, man. So crazy, right? I don't know where that stuff comes from out of my head when I'm live streaming. All the stuff I've ever thought about in my whole life pops out. You know what? It opens up pathways in the brain when you talk like this. And it kind of, your mind searches, for fun and interesting things. I want to entertain you as much as teach you. And you got to be entertaining here, right? It can't just be blase. Wow, we might get a bounce back to the upside here after the NASDAQ did this pump and dump. Let's take a look at the nasty Nas. Let's do our update. Someone told me how to get rid of those blue lines. I forgot. They were like, hit ship Apple 4, and they disappeared. And I was like, wow, that's cool. The nasty Nas. And look, they just disappeared out of nowhere now. It's like, did I just click them off? That's weird. Anyway, let's take a look. You got some bearish divvy, but I would say that was the bearish divvy there, and it played out already. And now you're kind of on a new plane. See, that's the difference. Some people can't differentiate between this and saying this is also bearish divergence. You know what I'm saying? So it's back and forth on either end there, and it all depends. Now so what I did is I divided the divergence. This is very key what I'm teaching you. I divided the divergence, meaning like once one divergence played out, we're on a new set of divergences. Also, using the moving averages can teach you when you're likely going to, when you're really far away and you get the bearish div, you're dumping. When the moving averages start getting tight, you kind of have gotten rid of the bearish div already, and you're starting to make a new high. You see? This really could be a new floor for the NASDAQ. And it's really how we watch the 21-day moving average interact with price. That's going to tell us the story. That's going to teach us what we're looking for. So you start looking at this here, start looking at that there. Then you got this idea, and boom. And so you want to see sideways price action, okay, inside of the zone here as the 21 kind of catches up. Now, we may come down a little bit, and that's where support and resistance comes into play. You start looking, there's the resistance. Can you bounce off that support? So you're like, okay, if we touch the 21 and we stay above 22,278, there's a good likely chance we get to continue this pump. And you start working with this stuff. And the more you play with it, the more you're going to see the probabilities over time. It's like clay. I'm always playing with the clay. I'm always working with the movement, right? And it's going to show me what I need to see. So here, like this. And this is the daily. So I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of go sideways now for the next few days, and then a big move comes on the NASDAQ yet again. Remember, I called this call for you. If you're in the trading group, this trade's still open. I gave you the NASDAQ call here. I said stop loss back here, and I said the rising wedge takes you to the upside. I mean, that's your measured move, right? This is still open season, and you'd move the stop loss to break even. You're still in this trade. If I gave this trade on the NASDAQ too as well. If you're, I have a harder time holding long-term trades. Like I take profits here, get back in. So I need to learn to I need two accounts really. I need one that I call my long-term that I don't look at and touch. Like I set it and I check on it like once a day or once at night before I go to bed, and I don't worry about it being up or down. I just worry about the overall movement getting where it needs to go, right? That's how you trade bigger time frames. It's like not the same, I'm learning, as trading smaller time frames. It's more of like a detached version of what you're doing. You're kind of just believing it's going to go where it's going to go, and you got to just let it sit. You got to give it so much more space and time. You can't be all over it like the 1 minute, like the 15, like the 5. That's just not going to suit you if you're looking for that, for that edge. It's not going to happen, right? So getting tight here on the NASDAQ. With the 21 coming tells me we might have 4 or 5 more days of sideways price action before the next bigger move. But the NASDAQ doing beautiful, breaking out on the rising wedge. And they're going to print this money. I said they're going to print this money. Where's it going to go if they're going to keep printing the money? It's got to go somewhere, right? So that leads me to the smaller time frames now, and we'll delete my work because it's over now. We did it. We documented the move, and we got it. Dude, how amazing is that to see it before it happens, see the pump, and then sell the top of the pump? Doesn't get better than that. It's so rewarding to do exactly what you planned out on doing and leaving with money in the market. Like, there's nothing better. Doing it in front of people, even better, right? Because it feels, hey, look, I did this, and it took me years to get this good. But the thing is, too, we don't always win, you don't always lose. It's about constantly using proper risk management. I say it's called a P&L for a reason, not a P&P, which is profits and loss. It's not a profit and profit. It's a profit and loss. There's a loss. There's an L in there, right? Because that means people do lose trades. How we lose is the key. How we get around probabilities of losing is the number one way to win, all right? Is there a scalp for Bitcoin? I'm on BitDinex account. Let's take a look here if I can scalp it and make some crazy price action here on the 1 minute. Let's take a look. I only scalp when we get back above the 200 moving average. Right now, crucial time for Bitcoin as we battle $109,000. Shout out to all the new people jumping on into the stream. Thank you for being here. May God bless each and every one of you. Shout out to the 1,000. Shout out to the 100,000 people here in the live. Wow, 100,000 people here in the live. That's insane. Do you see that? 100,000 people here? Where did they all come from? 100,000 people. Unbelievable. Who would have thought? And one day that's going to be a true reality. I see 100,000 people here already. It's already here. I'm learning to short. The lifers are life-changing for short. To fund the shorts, we love you. I caught the Nas drop this AM. Took the last class. I saw price was too far for the 21, so I went to short back to the 200. Thank you, Sam. Look at that. Away for the 21. Took the gains. Cash out. Just like you're broke down flop wing different traders. Example, many Banders fans scale and hold leverage. And it gets a lot of people holding winners to the ground, and lifers sell the tops. Hey, I don't want to talk about nobody else. All I know is what I do here. Thank you, Sammy. Quietly watching a few months now. Demo traded several weeks and slowly switched to live trading. Started with small, only 700, and now I'm up over 900, up 28% in a couple weeks. Take it small. Take it slow. I love hearing this. This is awesome, awesome feedback. Can't wait for the 100,000 subscribers. We are so close, everyone. Please subscribe to the channel. 98,300 subscribers and counting, but we can't do it without each and every one of you beautiful people hitting that subscribe button. So please do that thing. Make it happen. And yeah, anything could happen, man. But please subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Follow your dreams, everyone. Follow your dreams. I'm going to show you my live count right now. 98,337 subscribers. You can see the lifetime. I started with 100. It took me a year to get 100 people. Then, we started to move to 3,000. Look at this trajectory. We just continue to grow to 100,000 subscribers. And if you hit this, you're part of a bigger movement. You're part of my movement. You're part of helping me. I'm a family guy, 3 daughters. I show up every single day for my wife and kids. I love each and every one of you. This is my life. I put my entire life on the line for crypto. I'm here every single day without a day off. It's not some quick fix for the internet money. I love what I'm doing, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So God bless you all. Thank you for jumping on in. Let's take a look at the altcoins. Let's have some fun here and see if I see anything cracking. So the one big altcoin I'm loving is DJI 6930. That call has been booming to the upside, doing absolute damage. Wish I had called it out when I first found it at 660,000 market cap, but it's okay. It is what it is. Kita on Aerodrone. I like Kita. It bounced off the 786, made an ascending triangle. Actually, I see a bit of an Adam and Eve now. That tells me it's likely going to move. These are powerful patterns that play out. I see Kita pumping. So watch that Adam and Eve, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see Kita back to 116. This is one of the hotter coins. Remember, we found Kita down here at 12. Kita went from 12 cents to 169. This is one of my hottest calls of 2025 was Kita. Anyone take Kita in the trading group? I gave it when it was 12 cents. And the thing went all the way up here to $1.61, $1.68 really at one point. I mean, that's crazy, right? That's crazy. 60 would be a 5x. So you look, 168 divided by 12. That was a 14x for Kita. Again, not everyone got all of it. Even just there, we gave it a 3x, 4x, 2x, 1x. Whatever you're blessed to get. Kita, man. So is it going to continue? I see an Adam and Eve double bottom. Says it's going to bounce. The odds are in its favor that it will bounce back to 116. I have no clue, though. But that's what the charts say. Man, back to 1088. Bitcoin slumping. Not able to really hang. Losing that 109 area yet again. And this is just a crazy volatile day. One of those days where you're just like, And I need the 1 minute to get back above the 200 moving average for me to want to actually trade it. The 3 minute, just losing the 200, no good. The 5 minute, challenging. And the 15 was challenging the 200 as well, right? We lose the 200 and the 15, then I'm going to turn more into a bear. That's just how it's going to have to be. I can switch bullish to bearish in literally 10 minutes. It's something that I couldn't do years ago. I had to be one way all the time, but now I'm able to kind of flip my bias pretty fast. And that comes from just years of trading. This could kind of be a head and shoulder, couldn't it? We could see us back at 1068, and I showed you the pullback on the bigger time frame. Don't be surprised if it happens. So there you have it. All right. Nothing too crazy. And let's just take a look if there's anything kind of going on that we should know. Another exchange was hacked, which is kind of crazy. All right. Oh, yeah, for sure. A lot of people don't realize we're still in the early stages, right? Yeah, so GMX got hacked for $42 million. A decentralized perpetual exchange, GMX. The hacker appears to have drained funds out of GMX's GLP liquidity pool. The exploiter then transferred funds to USDC to ETH and then to the stablecoin DAI, while also stealing millions worth of fracks, wrapped Bitcoin, wrapped ETH, and other cryptocurrencies. There you have it. Usually it's the Lazarus, but you never know. But usually, right? So, dang, that's crazy, right? And investor Tom Lee says Bitcoin adoption still in the earliest days. Predicts U.S. banks will soon hold Bitcoin as collateral. Of course they will. They'll have to. 100% they will. If they don't, they're going to be slipping. What, are they going to let me have more collateral than them? No way. They're not going to let a Joe Schmo have more collateral than them. So, and Circle's IPO is crypto's chat GPT moment. That's a pretty big deal too as well. I heard Tom Lee describe Circle IPO as a chat meme before we were spitting in the wind. Dude, things are changing big. Big. And one last thing I want to talk about is Ripple. What's going on with Ripple? There's a lot happening with Ripple. Do you have a bag of Ripple? I do. My wife does. We always have our Ripple. You never know. Ripple picks 43 trillion Titan for its stablecoin reserves. U.S. crypto news. It selects, wow, BNY Mellon with 43 trillion in assets as the custodian for its RLUSD stablecoin, signaling a bridge between traditional finance and blockchain. Wow, the circulating supply surpasses 500 million, reflecting a strong institutional demand and rapid growth for RLUSD, man. They're doing this behind the scenes. Like, people aren't even paying attention to what's happening here. This is a big deal. Like a big deal. And then crypto ETFs booming as well, right? Amid record demand. But is the market cool down coming? I don't know. It's just an article, right? But the ETFs are huge. It's a good deal. I like seeing the ETFs getting pushed. So here we are. We need a bounce off this 7-minute 200 MA. We need a bounce off this level right here. The 15-minute 200 moving average. Very, very important. So am I bullish or bearish on the day? I'm overall bullish on the bigger move. On the small time frames, I see a lot of chop. I've been kind of wary of, like, you haven't seen me. Look, I've been getting chopped up on the 1 minute. I stopped trading the 1 minute recently because it just, I know when there's good money and there isn't good money, right? So, like, I know when the probabilities are higher that I'm going to get paid and not. So why go after times when the probabilities are lower? It doesn't make sense. It's not what you want to be doing. Like, I don't want to chase low probability outcomes, right? It's just not, it's not going to be a good look for me personally. So I don't do it. But thank you to everyone who subscribes to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Please subscribe, become a part of something bigger than yourself. It'll come back to you tenfold subscribing to the channel. Bitcoin dominance looks like it's rolling over, right? I can't believe Coinbase. Wait, that's another thing though. Coinbase got hacked a while back for the information, right? Yeah. Not recently. Yeah, you got me thinking like, no, yeah. Let's take a look at PERP. Someone sent a super chat in for PERP, P-R-E-P, USDT. Let's take a look at PERP here on Binance, MEXC, perpetual contract PERP. You know, it's Adam and Eve. Like, almost all these coins are saying, hey, I'm going to bottom here and I'm going to rip, just like the NASDAQ did. It's almost like, did they send a signal to the NASDAQ? I wouldn't be surprised if they do certain things to assets that aren't connected to signal what they're going to do to other assets. Like, they're like, listen, watch. Like, they have a meeting one day and they're like, listen, next month, watch the NASDAQ. We're going to do something in the NASDAQ, and that's going to teach you what to do to Solana. You know. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, they were hit. Coinbase was hit with $400 million cyber attack in May. That's crazy, right? There's 1 million folks watching you, Sammy. I know, 1 million people on the stream right now. 1 million people. Can you believe that? NASDAQ dumped when Bitcoin did today. Yeah, they both went down together. Let's take a look at the DXY and see what's happening. PERP looks good to me long term, but that's the 3-day chart. And this could take it could take 20 days just to get here, and this could take almost 50 days to have it happen, right? All right. It was back in May, but lots of people lately have been getting texts and emails claiming to be Coinbase. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That happens all the time, though. I mean, for me, it's like every day, you know. 100K will be watching you soon, Lifer. No doubt about it, lad. God bless you, brave, man. I love you. We're on the way, baby. We're on the way. Anything is possible. It's just a matter of time. We just got to keep showing up, and we're going to take over the markets. We just got to keep showing up. It's not easy being consistent, but it pays off over time, right? So I love the saying, you know, a guy has a business, works super hard, no results. Work super hard, bad results. Work super hard, good results. I realize you never, you know, when you put things into perspective for me, you just don't have a chance. When you have your own business, all you have is to work super hard. That's it. until you get good results. You may not always get them, but doesn't mean you can't stop working hard, because then you really won't get them. So to get good results, you just have to keep pushing every single day. It's never ending. I have to push every single day, no matter what. It doesn't end. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash, looking very interesting to me. BNB looking interesting to me. There's still opportunity out here. And Cake looking interesting to me too as well. Bitcoin Cash, though, looks like it's about to explode. I have to be honest. It's getting very, very tight inside the flag. It's looking very bullish. Hey, you could still get stopped out. You never know. But I like where we're sitting here at 2.83 risk-reward ratio. And the target is 666. This is already in the trading group. They already have this information. But it's up to you, right? Let's take a look at Cake. Cake is also very interesting to me. And Cake has possibilities of more movement too as well. If I could spell it without an either. Yeah. Pancake swap, baby. Pancake swap. Last time I put out pancake swap was in this inverted head and shoulder, suggesting it was going to break out all the way to about 256. Went to a high of 241. Kind of slumped on down. Stays above the 200 moving average. But hey, you could move that stop loss to break even and you never got hit. So you could say whatever you want, but that did produce a gain and did not lose any money. Let's take a look at what's happening to Cake now on the bigger picture. Why do I like Cake? Well, I got into Cake early, bird style, years and years ago. One of the first coins I ever really picked to be a big winner, and I hit hard. Cake went from 60 cents to $44, and it did it faster than you would ever have believed. Market was different back then. DeFi was hot. The opportunity was everywhere. It was, I look back on those times. I get a little sad because I realized, like, I didn't miss, but, like, you always think when you're in crypto, you realize that had you realized where you were, you would have taken way more advantage of it. But you know, it's hard to see where we were in crypto until after it happens. And I don't mean in the bull run or anything, but where we are in the narrative situations. Like I did well, don't get me wrong, it was great. But like DeFi was just, there was like a 50, 60 day period where it was just like, you know, I mean, you could turn very small amounts of money into large amounts of money. It was insane. And yes, it's still somewhat like that, but I don't know if we'll ever see those, like the gorilla days of DeFi. Like it's just different. I see Cake eventually breaking out on this daily over time to the upside. It's just kind of doing its thing, but eventually it's going to break out, getting very tight. DeFi will get bigger. Cake will get bigger. BNB isn't stopping. CZ is still developing, and Cake is a big part of the Binance ecosystem. And so never forget that. And Cake, remember, it was 44 cents. No matter how the bear market, it never went back to that 44 cent level in 2020 that it started at. So it went to 109, but never went back. And it was recently there at $5 too. It did a 4x there, 5x almost there. March of 2024, man, the time to sell every altcoin. Remember that St. Patty's Day? I was like, everyone, it's looking sketchy to me. We're super far away on the 3-day chart from every 21-day moving. We're going to get a pullback. And lo and behold, we did, man. The 3-day chart really has been a winner for me. It's really shown us a lot, right? Using that 3-day chart has got me out of so many jams, ups and downs, tips. Like whenever I'm in the 3-day and I can see that there's levels, I'm like, wow, we're too far away from that 21. Like I'm not chasing that, or I know when we're going to come back down. Somebody said they basically shorted the NASDAQ today because they could see that it was too far away from the 21-day moving average. And they took that advantage to go against, and take that. What a beautiful move. Bless you for doing that. Let's take a look at the DXY and see what's happening to the DXY now. So look, I even have a trade there on the NASDAQ that's still long. And then it looks to me like we could possibly build our next bigger long on the NASDAQ. Something like this. That could produce even, that could help out. So let's take a look at the S&P futures. Very similar situation. Here is the call. I have it going up to 644. Looks like it's going to hit my target. Probably just go flat a little bit, just like the NASDAQ. See? One more little flag, and then they're going to print that money again, and it's going to have to pump. Actually gives me a bigger target at 6588. Take a look at the DXY and see what's happening on that DXY. We said more downside out the bear flag. We got it. Then we came down for more again. Tried to bearishly retest. I mean, lost such a key level. Look at this. Previous resistance was support since 2020. We got above it there in 2022. We have not lost it. It's been 3 years since we lost that. All right. And see the dollar really and again, what we went over yesterday, just the comments by the administration showing that they're okay with a weak dollar, right? They're all about the debt right now. They want to refinance that debt. Understand? They want to refinance the debt. That's the whole point here. That's kind of, and it makes sense. Tariffs have brought in more money than people realized, and they could continue to do so. All right? I don't know, the DXY in the last 4 days got a little bit of a bump, but that's just because people, you have to remember, people trade Forex. And if the DXY is going to slip, it's going to create advantages to get back in another trade on the other side. That's just how it works, right? Maybe shorter to 20X. You're a big province. It's clearly retesting an outbreak. Maybe short it if you're, yeah, it's clear retesting on 109. Oh, right, I don't know. It's crazy the DX, yeah, it's going to dump before it pumps. All top indicators have been on the stocks. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I don't talk like that. GME just got hacked. Any thoughts? We talked about it already. And it's probably not a winner, right? Yeah. My thoughts are the coin's probably, not going to be too great. Feeding 2 orphan opossums while the lifer feeds me the knowledge. I hope they're okay. Broke baby daddy. Yeah. Yen carry trade get a pump for the day after Japan tariffs. It's another thing that's going on there too. So look for this to inverted head and shoulder. I wouldn't be surprised if it just continued further to the downside here, the DXY. Let me make sense of it all. I need to look at like the weekly. You can see it's in this bigger channel. Every time it seems to come back down, it goes back up to the top of the channel. See? But you could even say, hey, that's like a rising wedge that eventually will break to the downside, right? You could almost say it did it here, it broke out, broke back inside, and now it wants to break down. I'd look for in the long run, this to retest and dump. Target to like 77, 78. That's going to be our bull run. You have to remember, let me teach you. The last bull run we had, right here, 2017, the dollar started to drop in 2016, all the way there. And the end of our bull run was right there, right? April. And then the dollar came back up. And then look, our next bull run was March of 2020, right? That's when Bitcoin bottomed in the pandemic. They dumped the dollar again. Then we have our bear market where the dollar pumps. Then we had that awesome season, and then the dollar's been strong, and now the dollar's down again for Bitcoin to rip. And then we have one more big rippage, and that's going to be basically our bull run. You see? The bull run occurs when the DXY drops. This is right there. Let's take a look at JP. You guys are talking about the yen versus the dollar. Let's see. Let's take a look at some Forex. Now, last time I looked at it, we saw this symmetrical triangle. These mainly dump. They're bearish patterns to me. They mainly break to the downside, but I mean, it looks like you're going to get a bounce, at least in the next 2-3 days. So it's like, you should be able to get a bounce back to the top of the channel. Oversold stochastics as well. 4-hour came back up, though, not with a lot of love. Wouldn't be surprised if you did bounce back up, back to the 6917 area. Over time, though, it does look more bearish than bullish. Looks like the Japanese yen may lose against the dollar. But, higher lows. Oversold in the daily. Consolidate and then a breakout, right? I see a bullish move now, and then we'll go from there. Watching you while I work, slow right now. I would rather watch the charts all day. If the DXY drops that much, what a bull run it's going to be. Well, that's what we're looking for. That's exactly what we're looking for. That's kind of what we want. And, I kind of out for the day. It looks like the liquidity kind of dried up. The big pump was this morning, and then, look, they head and shouldered it. Look at shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then took it down. Now they get an M pattern cooking, but I got to let the dust settle. The charts are telling me that they're too funky right now, right? Some days you get up there and you're in the flag, you're touching the 21, it's about to move. Some days it's not the same. This is BTC. If you want to trade the NASDAQ, Tech 100, Bitcoin, Tesla, gold, you name it. They've been around for 14 years. Sign up to my link to BTCC. I do get a commission. I'd greatly appreciate that. If you want to trade the NASDAQ, I gave a beautiful call today on the NASDAQ. I've only lost 2 trades out of 14 on the NASDAQ, 12 or 14. So, hey, I don't trade it every day, but when I trade it, the calls have been pretty awesome. So, and then we also like to trade. I like to scalp on BitTinex. BitTinex is my favorite scalping platform. It's where I get into small time frames, right? I look for the movement. This is where I like to make my smaller term trades. It's just fast. It's easy. It's efficient. You know, even right now, there's some hope here. So look, I'm looking for this for a scalp later on today. Get that double bottom to pump to the upside. Get back above the 200 moving average, and we can rip 109,008, maybe even higher. You know, a beautiful double bottom there off 108,750. I like the 15-minute battling the 200 moving average and not losing it. That's a bullish sign that we could get a nice pump back to the top of the channel. Like right there, I'd get in there with a stop loss below. See, we did that the other day too. And then this is in a little channel. I actually like this flag here. Look, I'll show you a trade right now. I can find a trade anytime, anywhere, on any asset, really. I believe that. You're the opportunity. If you're the opportunity, of course you can find whatever you need. You've got this. You can, you will. You are the best. Nobody believes in you more than you do. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody knows your true destiny but you. Nobody. I knew I was destined for something huge. No one around me knew that. And if people around you think that that's pompous to have a big belief in yourself, then they might actually make you feel bad for having big dreams. You know, and that happens to some people in small towns. Like everyone's like, oh, you shouldn't dream like that. That's rude. Thinking you're better than everyone else in this town. And you're like, no, I just want to see the world in a different way, you know. I like this trade right here on BitTinex. We'll go about 200 for 571 here on the trade. All right. Maybe a little lower on the risk because it's been 179 for 496. I like it. And there's BitTinex. Makes a nice, movement when you see it. Stop loss there. We can move that up as we start to move. Take profits at 111.94. Let's see if we can get that move. I like this trade here on BitTinex. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. If you want to trade, we trade on weeks. Remember, I bought Bitcoin on weeks yesterday. MEXC, my favorite, lowest fees in the game. BitTinex, where I'm trading here with the live scalp, and BTCC, where I'm trading the NASDAQ and, Tesla and all sorts of other fun stuff. So if you want to trade where I trade, links are here in the pinned comment. Jump on in today. I'd greatly appreciate that. All right. XRP's moving. Yep, on the daily. Good profits. I talked about XRP already. We got in at 225, right? Everybody, I love you. I'm more bullish than bearish, and I'm going to stay on that. We'll see what happens. So I'm not flip-flopping. I'm not, I do know nothing but the fact about ignorance, but I am more bullish than bearish here for Bitcoin. We'll see what happens. I'll check back in later throughout the day. It is a beautiful Wednesday. God bless you all on this holiday week. Really, people take the whole week off and really hang. Thank you so much for kicking it with the lifer. Thank you so much for a wonderful stream. I don't know how we do it every single day, but we do. All the way to 11:59. It's 12 o'clock. We drank. We did it all, man. It was crazy. But God bless you all. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. And hey, just keep pushing every single day. You're not going to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. The secret to success. I talked to a lot of multimillionaires, billionaires. They all told me what the secret to success is. You know what it is? It's getting started. That's it.